All right. So, in this video, we are going to wrap up Italian unification. So, this is Italian unification part 2. So, in our last video, we set up the context. We looked at what was going on in Italy before 1848. We looked at some of the stuff that happened in Italy during 1848. And then we discussed all of the main characters in the story. So we're going to pick this story back up right after the Crimean War. So in 1856, Victor Emmanuel, the king of Piedmont, Sardinia. And just so that we all know where we're talking about, here is the map of Italy. Piedmont, Sardinia is this aqua-colored part. That's where most of the political events are going to be taking place. So in 1856, Victor Emmanuel of Piedmont, Sardinia extracted a promise from Napoleon III to defend Piedmont, Sardinia in case Austria invaded. So France will back up Piedmont, Sardinia in case the Austrians invade Piedmont, Sardinia. So Victor Emmanuel had that in his back pocket, and he waited until the right time, and the right time happened to be April 26th, 1860. So this is what Victor Emmanuel does. Victor Emmanuel parades his army right on the border with the Austrian parts of Italy. So he's on his own territory, but he is walking his army back and forth right on the border. So he is like right here, just marching his army back and forth until the Austrians finally spring the trap. And so the Austrians invade. And they invade on April 26th, 1860. And the trap works just like it's supposed to. So Victor Emmanuel's trap springs the Piedmont French army pretty easily defeats the Austrians. And most of northern Italy is given to Piedmont. So if we go back to this map we've been looking at, this area here, Lombardy, with Milan, the city of Milan, this is given to Piedmont, Sardinia. Now, at this point, a couple of things happen. Napoleon III gets cold feet and pulls out. Even though they probably could have taken the entire peninsula. Napoleon looks at what's going on and says, I fulfilled my end of the deal. You were invaded. I protected you. I'm done. The other thing that happens is that in return for their help, Victor Emmanuel gives Napoleon III the city of Nice. Looks like nice, but it's actually pronounced Nice. Nice is right there. It is right on the border with France and Italy. Used to be Italian, now it is French. The reason that that is important is that Nice is Garibaldi's hometown. And this turns Garibaldi against what Victor Emmanuel and Cavour are doing. And even though he was on board with this right now because he wants a free and independent Italy, this makes him really mad. And so he goes off and does his own thing. But at this point, the Austrians have been knocked back. The Austrians are in a defensive position, and the Italians are now on the offense. And the more territory the Italians can put together, the bigger their army becomes, and it's like a snowball effect. They just get bigger and bigger the more territory they take. Now, here's what happens next. Garibaldi, who has left and is now doing his own thing, invades southern Italy, all on his own. He managed to put together a small force that are going to follow him, and he invades southern Italy all on his own and takes over the Austrian aligned Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. So the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies is the southern end of the boot. So it's this. And so what you've got is Victor Emmanuel and Cavour moving south, and you've got Garibaldi and his guys moving north. So this gives us a very delicate situation. So Victor Emmanuel and Cavour are moving south. Garibaldi is moving north. Now they both want to get to Rome. Victor Emmanuel and Cavour, if they get to Rome first, they're going to set up their constitutional monarchy. If Garibaldi gets there, Garibaldi wants to set up his republic. All the while, they don't want to anger the Pope, because if the Pope comes out very strongly against them, that could set the whole thing in the dumpster. Or the French, who, if you remember, who are defending the Pope. So what ends up happening is that, I'll pull the map up here one more time, they meet over here. I'm away from Rome. They meet over here. They meet in east central Italy. And as they go, they're conquering territory and gathering forces. Garibaldi decides to follow Victor Emmanuel. So he surrenders to him. And he pledges to work with him. Now, there's a couple of reasons why he does this, but really, Garibaldi wants an independent Italy more than anything else. And he's willing to have a constitutional monarchy if it means that Italy gets to be independent. And instead of fighting a war between Italians, Garibaldi would rather have peace, independence, and a strong Italy. And in this, what he does here in doing this, he's kind of following the example of George Washington, who was a hero of Garibaldi's. And basically here, George Washington had the opportunity to maintain power and hold on to authority in the United States, but he gave it up for the sake of the country. And Garibaldi's doing the same thing. This really angers Mazzini. Mazzini wanted a republic more than anything else. And he felt that Garibaldi betrayed their ideals, and he refused to work with them anymore. But in the end, the independent Kingdom of Italy was proclaimed on March 17th, 1861. In the city of Turin, which is the capital of Piedmont, and now the capital of Italy. Now, there are a couple of important pieces of Italy that are not united into this new Kingdom of Italy. So let's look at the map one more time. So the aqua parts, that was Piedmont, Sardinia. This was given to Victor Emmanuel when the French helped them. The rest of this stuff in purple was what Victor Emmanuel and Garibaldi took as they were meeting up. There are a couple of important pieces that weren't given to the Italians. Venetia, where Venice is, was held on by the Austrians. So they kept this piece. This piece still belonged to the Pope, and within it, the very important city of Rome. So what we'll end with right now is how the Italians get Venice, this orange part here around Rome called the Papal States, and then the city of Rome itself. So let's talk about the missing pieces. So Venice was the first piece to be added. It was added in 1866. After Italy allied with Prussia in their war with Austria. So Italy joins Prussia against Austria, and in return, Italy gets Venice. Now we'll talk about why Prussia is fighting Austria when we get to German unification. But if you've been paying attention over the last few videos prior to this, you'll note that Prussia and Austria are rivals. They are not friends. And being kind of forced to be in this German confederation just makes the Prussians resent the Austrians even more, and that's going to lead to this war. But we'll cover that when we get to German unification. The next piece are the Papal States. The Papal States are the territory around Rome, and it belongs to the Pope personally. Now, this won't be added to Italy until 1870. When the French forces defending the Pope are recalled back to France to fight again the Prussians. So the French leave, The Italians look around and see that no one is defending this territory, and so the Italians just come in and take it. Again, you should be noting a pattern here that the Italians are kind of following the lead of the Prussians and just picking up the stuff that they leave behind. This will not be the first time or the last time that the Italians and the Prussians are going to work together. The city of Rome was added in 1929. And this was the result of a treaty called the Lateran Treaty between Pope Pius XI. We don't really need to worry about him. And a name that's going to come up quite a bit in time period 4, Benito Mussolini. So what this treaty did was it gave Rome to Italy and made it the capital. And it also created the independent country of the Vatican City within Rome. So there were a number of pieces of Italy that were left out, and over the next, 70 years, these pieces would be added to Italy to create what we now know as Italy. So that wraps up Italian unification. In our next set of videos, we will start covering German unification, which is a much bigger and much longer process, and it'll take us probably 3 or 4 videos to get through. We'll also be tying in some other people in Central Europe into that story as well, so we'll probably also talk about the Hungarians in that story. So it's a longer story, basically following the same process here that we saw in Italy, though. So until then, this is Mr. Nissen signing off.